On this episode with Dan on the Street, Dan meets up with Richmond County's Public Administrator, Edwina Martin. Next on Dan on the Street.
We're about to meet Dan on the street, yeah. D-A-N, Dan on the street, yeah. Talking anything with Dan on the street, yeah. D-A-N, Dan on the street, yeah. 10314, just knock on Grace Foundation's door. If you really want to meet Dan on the street, yeah. Dan on the street.
And joining us today is Edwina Martin, Public Administrator for Staten Island, New York. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to be here today.
Well, thanks for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is to be the Public Administrator for Staten Island?
What a public administrator does is we look after the estate. The estate are sort of the things that you own, your checking account, your car, your house, your clothing, your musical instruments. All of those collectively are called your estate. And when you pass away, if you don't have any family, if you haven't created any advanced planning or pre-planning documents like a will, like a trust, then the responsibility for taking care of that estate and making sure that things are wound down, if you're renting, that the landlord gets the apartment back, etc., that responsibility will come to the public administrator's office.
As public administrator, there is a lot of responsibility to help those that have no family. Where do you start to try to locate families?
There are a lot of different things that we do. When we first get an estate, the first thing we do is we go into wherever the person was living, a house, an apartment, a condo, wherever it was. And we do a search to see what documents we can find, like a bank account, letters, cards, other things. And that's actually how we start our search. We also have electronic databases that we can access to research people's names and social security numbers. And a lot of times we're able to find family through using those two methods.
Not having your affairs in order is probably more common than people would think.
During the height of the COVID pandemic, when we were losing so many people a day, my office would receive frantic calls from people who had a family member on a ventilator. They didn't know if they were going to come off. They wanted to have a will prepared. My office does not prepare wills, and I can't, for ethical reasons, like sort of refer people to specific attorneys. But the reality is, if a person is incapacitated, it's too late, because they have to be of sound mind in order to create all of these documents. So it's really important, and I say this wherever I'm speaking, to plan ahead. It will help with taking care of you and how you want to be put to your final rest. It helps your family because they'll be sad, they'll be beside themselves. It's hard to think straight when you're in such an emotional state. And so mistakes can be made, and they might not do what you want them to do. So having a living will, a healthcare proxy, a will, creating a trust if you think that's appropriate, having these things in place will make things go so much more smoothly for everyone that you care about.
Fun fact about yourself.
I'm known for wearing hats and fascinators. I don't have one on today, as you can see. So I didn't wear one of my fascinators, but I'm known for my headgear.
Before we close, tell us where we can find you.
Yep, and I brought one of my brochures, which probably you can't see too well, but my office is located at 130 Stuyvesant Place. Right now, we're still not letting the general public into the office, and we're doing most of our meetings by Zoom. But for certain emergency cases, people are coming in when necessary. But we're at 130 Stuyvesant Place, Suite 402. Our email address is info@richmondpa.nyc.gov. And our number is 718-876-7228.
Great, well thank you. That about wraps it up for today's episode of Dan on the Street. Thanks to the Dayhab crew with Nick and Natalie. And again, thank you, Edwina, for joining us, and thank you for what you do. Edwina Martin, Public Administrator, Staten Island, New York.